of football on YouTube. I appreciate y'all being here. Thank you very much for joining me to talk a little Sunday night quarterback following Alabama's 73-0 victory over Louisiana Monroe. Definitely get inside the comment box. Let me know where you're watching from. And, man, I want to ask you, did you sleep a little bit better on Saturday night as opposed to last Saturday? I think there's so many positives to discuss, and I'm sure you have a lot of questions, just like me, about this football team, right? Because you have week 1, you have week 2, and I keep going back to what Coach Saban said about kind of the philosophy of college football is you make the biggest jump from week 1 to week 2. And clearly these guys got punched in the mouth, right? But I think also with that, I watched them. I said this even before the game. When they were walking into the stadium, coming from the Walk of Champions, they had a different look on. They honestly had kind of that pissed off for greatness look. So that certainly translated to the field. And I'm sure you've seen it as well. A lot of people talking out there, well, look who they played, Louisiana Monroe. Yeah, they played Louisiana Monroe. In fact, the head football coach didn't even show up for his press conference. Did you see that? But I argue, okay, yeah, maybe it was a glorified practice, right? Maybe, maybe the teams were so, mismatched. It is what it is. Everybody played a cupcake yesterday. We understand that. But what I look at, and I want to talk about the quarterbacks here in a second. I'm going to talk about the entire team. But, even going 17-17 against at practice is difficult, right? Even going 8 of 10 for 2 touchdowns is difficult at practice. Even going 4 of 6 on a stage when you're a freshman is difficult. You know what I'm saying? I mean, so look, I don't care who you're playing. It's about executing. They had energy throughout, and I'm glad to see it. So 73-0, I can't believe it. I mean, I've never seen them score 73 points since I've been here, right? Remember, the raffle to get in for this week is a jersey, any jersey that you want. If you win the raffle, $10 to get in, Bama_YouTube, Cash App, Bama YouTube. Plenty of room to get into this particular raffle. As you saw today, you had the AP Top 25, which was released. You have Ohio State defeating Grambling. You have Penn State, you have LSU, Oregon, Miami, Georgia. Georgia and Tennessee play this coming weekend. This weekend is a lot better in terms of the college football slate, right? Texas beat San Jose State. You have Notre Dame. They will take on Texas A&M this weekend. You have Illinois, who beat Duke. They are 2-0. You have Florida State, who looks straight up like a buzzsaw right now, right? They scored, 78 points. And then you have South Carolina 2-0. On the right column, you have Clemson, who they struggled a little bit with Troy. You have Oklahoma, who looks like a really good team. I think, if you bought Oklahoma, before kind of they started going the direction, you got in early on a really good football team. Iowa State defeated Iowa. You have Tennessee, Texas A&M, Ole Miss, and Alabama up 2 spots. I'll tell you what, this South Florida team is pesky. That's a good football team right there. They take on Miami this coming weekend. Is anybody taking South Florida beat Miami? I mean, shoot. That Alex Golesh is one hell of a football coach, and I know they come back here. Alabama played him a couple years ago, or they played him last year and the year before. So that we know about South Florida. That's a pesky bunch. I don't know. I don't care about the rankings right now. I'm care about more how the team played and how they're doing week by week on a progressional basis. So you're moving up, you're taking steps forward, and that's what they had to do. But it all starts kind of with the team. And I want to ask you this: how are you feeling right now about this team? I drove into the neighborhood and I asked some guy coming in, one of my neighbors, I was like, "What you think about the team?" He's like, "It depends on the week." So how good is this team? What is the ceiling? What is the floor? Did we see them play at the floor? And now they went to level 1 of, a 15-story building. How good are they? Man, they were absolutely flawless against Louisiana Monroe, right? The energy was there. Defense, they played lights out. They were flying around. The offense looked fantastic. Ryan Grubb was orchestrating. His quarterbacks were playing at the very high level. Wide receivers everyone is balling out, right? They enter this weekend's game against Wisconsin as a 20-point favorite. I was kind of surprised by that. Wisconsin, I think they beat Memphis, right, 42-10 or something like that. So, look, they took it to Wisconsin last year up at Camp Randall, 20 points. That seems like a large spread, but I think one thing that the country saw was Ty Simpson. One thing that the country saw was the weapons that Alabama has. One thing that the country saw was the defense and the intensity that they have. I don't care who you're playing, you're supposed to play like that. And that's one of the things that I was going into the game. I was like, okay, everybody beat a cupcake. There's a lot of teams that were able to score up in the 60s, 70s. I was like, now, if Alabama doesn't score like 70, people are going to be pissed. They did. They scored 73 points, right? So I think it's clear, too, to the nation and to everybody else and to us as fans that the abundance of talent, right? Thumbs up if you agree. Like, the abundance of talent is crazy. There's guys that are super young. They look so good, right? The freshmen that are playing, they look so good. The guys, who are the vets and the guys that are starters, they look really good. The abundance of talent is crazy. You're like, where was this team, right? And I know, I see Derek inside the comment box. He's like, Illinois at number 9. I know. I watched them play. I was zero impressed with the Fighting Illini. Zero. Like, I'm serious. I think they're this year's Indiana, right? Are they? Do you agree with that? Am I off base on that? I think I fall into this category. I probably cautiously optimistic, right? Being a realist and understanding they played Louisiana Monroe. It was one game. They played what looks to be a buzzsaw, Florida State, and got punched in the mouth. Maybe they were overconfident. Maybe Gus Malzahn just, outdueled Kane Womack. Whatever it was, I think I'm cautiously optimistic because of the execution and maybe the mindset and the intensity that I saw in week 2, right? So I'm going to go over the quarterbacks, and I'm going to show you the stats for each position on the team through 2 games, all right? And I start right here with the quarterbacks. And when I talk about one quarterback, please understand this. I don't have anything for any of the quarterbacks. I want the best quarterback to play. I want to talk about each quarterback that is shining. So if I have a video on Keelan Russell, you got to think, remember, I'm a YouTube content creator. So if something is hot, I'm going to talk about it to make sure that video gets out there, right? But what Ty Simpson did, clearly, I know, just like this young man, what he did on Saturday was unbelievable. Going 17-7. I don't care who you are playing. This was a perfect game. Literally. 226 yards, 3 touchdowns, and that doesn't even show what he was able to do on the ground. The play of Ty Simpson was, we always do 10 out of 10. I don't often go 10 out of 10. This dude was like a 12 out of 10, 15 out of 10. That's how well he played. Austin Mack, he got in. He had plenty of opportunities as well. I love that he came in the second quarter. Some people were talking if it's too early. I don't know. You're up by 28 or whatever. Put in whoever you want, right? Turn up the sticks. I saw good things from him. He has an absolute cannon. I couldn't believe the velocity of this guy's passes. I'm serious. I was blown away. I was like, damn. This guy, cannon. And then Keelan Russell, he gets in. And, of course, it was exciting because he's a freshman. He's a 5-star. The number 1 player coming in. We haven't really seen him. And, my goodness, I was blown away. Look, everyone, a 5-star is going to be good. I didn't know he's that good. And when you see them in game situations and they shine like that, you're like, my goodness, right? All right. And so I was shocked, right? All right, and I'll get it updated. Casually, I see the air in there. All right, I'll get it fixed. Yeah, but I went with cautiously optimistic. All right, so give me grace on that. I appreciate it. All right, let's talk about what I saw from the quarterbacks, and I'll go over each one, and then I'll go every single position, all right? And that should be cautiously optimistic inside the comment box. But for the quarterbacks, I'm going to go over every single position on a grade out right here, okay? So I'll start with the quarterbacks, and I'll work my way all the way to the special teams. So stay with me. You have Ty Simpson at quarterback. Through 2 games, he has 480 yards, 5 touchdowns, 66% completion percentage. Austin Mack, 80 yards, 2 touchdowns, 80% passing. And then Keelan Russell, 4 of 6, 65 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 66%. Each quarterback, I think it was the first time there was some crazy stat that said there was the first time that each quarterback threw 2 touchdown passes in a game, right? That was a pretty notable stat to me. But here's one play in particularly. Let's kind of rewind. It was a 2nd and 16 in the second quarter when Ty Simpson found Isaiah Horton, right? So when he came out, right? And he threw the pass to Isaiah Horton. It was a 35-yard pass on the run. He comes back. He fires. Did you see this play? This was absolutely this is what Ty Simpson brings to the table. You know what I'm saying? This play was elite. He had, and I watched it again and again. There was a couple passes that he had that were dimes, that were bullets. He had good speed on his passes as well. But this one right here, where he threw it to Isaiah Horton, that was fantastic. I was like, that is an NFL type throw. And he threw it to Isaiah Horton. He scores his first touchdown. But that one really, really stood out to me, 100%. What about you? Do you remember? Look at Kaden Proctor back here, by the way. Talk about finishing the play. This dude's like almost, 15 yards downfield. But that play was absolutely stellar. I'd love to hear from an NFL scout what they saw in terms of this particular play. This was 35 yards downfield on an absolute rope for a touchdown. All right, now I'm talking about Austin Mack, okay? I love this particular play. They got inside the goal line, right? And what they did, and I love play action inside the goal line. They had so he fakes it to, it was a play action, and he came out and he found Caleb Edwards over here for a touchdown. Caleb Edwards, by the way, is really good as a freshman. And 1 catch, 1 touchdown. This pass that he threw, I don't know if they have stats on this, like how fast that he threw this pass, but it was a rocket, right? An absolute cannon for a score. So the velocity that I think if you're nitpicking some of these guys, you probably can go about Austin Mack's accuracy in terms of, maybe he was the less accurate of the 3. I'm not trying to start a war. It's just like that seemed like that to me. But again, limited opportunity. So, right? Okay, this play is now Keelan Russell. This was a touchdown, right? And so I thought he was going to scramble right here. And we've seen quarterbacks, right, that have been at Alabama, maybe scramble right here and run for 15. Maybe they run for a score. I don't know. He has this intuitive ability. He ran right here, and then he finds Cole Adams, who was wide open down here, and made this play. That was wonderful. And then the second touchdown that he threw to MG Cherwig, the walk-on this other side, man, just an elite throw that nobody else could get. So all quarterbacks did fantastic. I was really impressed with with what I saw. Really, and you know what? Before I move on past the quarterbacks, what did the coaches tell us? The coaches said that the competition was tight. Clearly, we see what they're talking about. Now, Ty is clearly quarterback number 1, but the other guys, they're not too far behind Ty Simpson, which is a good thing for the quarterback room. It's a long season. You need talent. You need depth. So really blown away with the quarterbacks. Obviously, they're grading out like an A+. Let's talk about the running backs. Now, I want your feedback inside the comment box right now. What do you think about Kevin Riley? Go ahead and on a scale of 1 to 10, how impressive has Kevin Riley been? Kevin Riley has been extraordinary, okay? This guy, coming into the season, we weren't really talking about him much. Clearly we're talking about Jam coming back. You're talking about Richard Young and Big Daniel Hill and the transfer in Draylen Washington. Those are like the 4. And then the other 2 are like, okay, these guys are in development. Kevin Riley and A.K. Deere. Well, you know what? If these guys were 1 and 2, they would be one hell of a 1-2 combo. And I get it. Once again, I understand who they're going up against. There's a difference between the experience that someone like Jam has, right, and these guys. But the way that this young man hits the hole, he's fat. Who does he remind you of? I would like to get that assessment on who does he remind you of. Someone said Glenn Coffey. Is that a good assessment? I don't know. And then A.K. Deere, 56-yard touchdown at the back end to put Alabama over 70. This is one hell of a combo, and this is a redshirt freshman, and this is a true freshman, okay? So when you talk about the abundance of talent, you got Keelan Russell, who we saw, even Austin Mack, he's a redshirt freshman. And then you look at these younger guys, and I don't care who they're playing. I talk about execution and playmaking ability when you have opportunities to make plays, right? These guys did it. I was absolutely so through 2 games, he had 16 carries, 100 yards, leads the team. A.K. Deere, 5 carries and 76 yards. Richard Young, third on the team, 15 for 45. I would imagine that Jam Miller could come back for this weekend against Wisconsin. I know he was dressed out for Louisiana Monroe. So, well, look, if he isn't 100% healthy, I think clearly you got a stable at running backs that could get the job done. But because you have that weekend and then you have open weekend before you go to Georgia, right? Super impressed with Kevin Riley. What are you guys saying inside the comment box in terms of Kevin Riley? I see Kenyon Drake, Yeldon, right? Good comparisons. Think about that inside the comment box. All right, we move on talking about the tight ends. Before I do it, I want to tell you that this video is sponsored by Sleeper. Check out Sleeper, download the app. You get a $100 deposit match up to $100. I'm going to play a quick video that represents how you can make your picks more or less, and I'll be right back on Sleeper. Don't go anywhere. We'll talk about the tight ends, and we'll continue to knock this Alabama offense and defense following their Week 2 victory. Be right back. Family, what's up? Kyle Anderson, Bama Football on YouTube. As you know, I partnered up with Sleeper this year. One of the great things that you can do is you can make picks in terms of more or less, right? And you can get a 100% match up to $100. Use the promo code, which is RTR. Terms and conditions apply. I'm going to take John Mateer right here over 2 touchdowns against Michigan. Do you guys agree? Let me know inside the comment box. You also got Justice Haynes. Yo, I think he'll have another strong performance. Give him over 65 yards against Oklahoma. I had to pick one more. I'm going to go with Arch Manning. I know he had a tough day at the ballpark, but give me over for Arch Manning, 278. They probably let him throw for like 300 or something like that. After you've done that, make sure that you have, you can choose how much you want to put in, $1, $5, $10. It shows you the winning amount right there. But it's just more or less. It's fun to play. This is something that I do along with fantasy football on Sleeper. Really easy to do. Super fun interface. And I'm sure if you play fantasy football, you already know about Sleeper. So remember, get a 100% match up to $100. Use the promo code RTR, and let me know inside the comment box what you think about my picks this weekend going into Week 2 of the college football season. How about that Oklahoma and Michigan game? Oklahoma's a good team for sure. John Mateer, really good quarterback for sure. Justice Haynes, he's been doing well too for the Wolverines. Okay, so you're looking at the tight ends. And again, download the app and remember, get a $100 deposit, match up to $100. The promo code that you got to use is RTR. Clearly, roll tide roll. What have you thought about the tight end room? Look, Josh Cuevas has 45 yards receiving and 2 touchdowns. And, man, I really like this guy right here, Caleb Edwards. He's kind of – I didn't know like there would be a couple guys that would be ready to go this year. He's one of them. Kevin Riley would be another one with the running backs. This guy's really good. Marshall Pritchett had 2 catches last night. Got to see him. Really impressed with Caleb Edwards. We haven't, a couple of these other guys have been playing. These other 2 transfers, I haven't seen these guys at all. I don't know if they're injured or if they just don't play. And I think Danny Lewis still might be out with the injury or whatever. But the tight end room, these young guns, ready to go. That was a weird play last night against Monroe when he caught it and they ruled it incomplete. That was a really strange play. Anyways, Josh Cuevas with 2 touchdowns in the first 2 games of the season. The receivers for the Alabama Crimson Tide look like this. I would imagine that Ryan Williams comes back for the Wisconsin game. He was out, concussion protocol. The wide, you know what's crazy? You think of a player as good as Ryan Williams, as talented as Ryan Williams, who's the biggest college football star on the cover of the video game, all that stuff. Alabama's wide receiving room is so talented, and this is like probably crazy to even say, but if he didn't play again, the wide receivers are that good. It's crazy the talent that is in this room. Now, when he gets back, I want to see which wide receivers are on the field most because we got some guys that's going to be hard to keep off the field, okay? So you have Ryan Williams right now, 5 for 30. You have Isaiah Horton, who caught his first touchdown pass, beautiful 35-yard strike from Ty Simpson. And you got this guy right here that clearly is the standard of Alabama football at the receiver position, right? 11 catches, 213 yards, 2 touchdowns. I thought it was a beautiful design play last night by Ryan Grubb where he sent everybody to the right. I think it was everybody to the left, and Jeremy Bernard came back, caught a shovel pass, I guess, because it did count as a reception, and he ran up and kind of cut back, but I did see Lazier Brooks down there blocking. This guy is just fantastic, 100%, and I love how he carries himself. Just really happy for Jeremy Bernard. This guy's playing at a very high level. Clearly, we're going to see him on Sundays. We have a super chat that just came in. We'll go ahead and read that out. Kurt Blackbass says, how many incompletions would Ty have if Ryan Williams was in the game? 2 or 3. Another question would be, how many drops has Ryan Williams had in his short career? Maybe 20. You know, I'm sure there's somebody that could probably count up the drops that Ryan Williams has had. You know, I think some of them happened in the back end of last season. And then, you know, first game, clearly, I don't know how many drops there were, like 2 or 3. The thing is, I'm still not going to sell on Ryan Williams, right? I know what he's capable of. I think that a player like that needs to, you know, perform clearly at a higher level. He's kind of, you know, the cornerstone, like, media guy for Alabama football. But I think, you know, watching on the sidelines, you know, it's evident that these other wide receivers can get the job done, right? It's unbelievable how good that room is. So we continue, right? Cole Adams, really happy to see him in. He got a touchdown, 3 catches, 48 yards at the touchdown. Rico Scott, didn't see as much Rico Scott as we thought we'd see, right? I thought he'd be kind of one of the bigger threes. 5 for 53, got a nice pass from Ty Simpson. Didn't see Jalen Hell too much last night. I don't even know if he got on the field. I know he got on the field in the first game of the season. I don't think he got on last night. One hell of a punt returner, too. Someone pointed that out. And then, Lazier Brooks, my goodness, am I off base? Because this is one hell of a comparison. Is Lazier like Jalen Waddle? Did he give you off Jalen Waddle vibes? Right? I don't know. Because that's one hell of a comparison. But like, he was that guy, very fast, right? Quick off the ball, like super quick. I had nothing but positives to say about it. And that's why I'm saying when Ryan does come back, which wide receiver are you going to take off the field? Because they don't really run too much 4 wide. They like to keep Josh Cuevas on, so you really only limited to 3 wide receiver sets. But, man, were you guys impressed? Who was impressed with Lazier Brooks? Sound off inside the comment box. Man, what a stud. Again, he's a freshman. The abundance of talent is crazy here at Alabama, specifically at the wide receiver position. Jalen Mbakwe, we saw him last night, 1 catch, 16 yards. I guess he's still hurt, or maybe he's just not getting on the field. I don't know. Derek Meadows had 7 snaps. I think he played in that first game of the season, right? So overall, wide receivers been very, very impressed, specifically with Jordan Bernard, rightfully so, right? He's kind of like the standard, like Coach Ryan Grubb said. Here's starting offensive line. And I checked, Jaden Roberts played in 17 snaps against Louisiana Monroe. So far, and I need to update the snap count here with the offensive line. The defense will be all updated, which we'll see next. What have you thought about the Alabama offensive line? I think this is probably the toughest room to grade right now because of the different between the competition, right? Like Florida State had a game plan. I thought they beat Alabama's offensive line. I thought they challenged them. Louisiana Monroe clearly didn't have the talent to do that. So right now, I think, like, if I talk cautiously optimistic, it probably falls on these guys the most. Like, can these guys perform at the highest level, even against Wisconsin, and then on the road against Georgia? You know, for the things that Georgia struggles in, I know their offense was criticized. They only beat Austin Peay like 28-7. You imagine if Alabama only won 28-7? Oh, my goodness. But we know that Georgia is going to have a very good defense. We know that game is going to be on the road. It's going to be difficult for communication purposes. So I think, would you agree with me on the offensive line? I think the jury is still out for me with the offensive line. This is where all starts, is in the trenches. So I'm going to say jury's still out, cautiously optimistic. But the one thing that I do know, someone said it in the comment box, and I'm agreeing with them 100%. This might be the best center in America. And I continue to say he has exceeded my expectations tremendously. He is so talented, and if it doesn't work out for center, I think he can also be a pretty good running back. I always think about that time he picked up that fumble against Florida State. He looked good running the ball. All right, the defensive tackles. So Tim Keenan out, probably come back against Wisconsin, or maybe we'll watch him day to day. Beeman out for the season, unfortunately, with the knee injury. James Smith, these are all updated, the snap counts and the tackles. So James Smith so far, 52 snaps and 7 tackles. I want to highlight James Smith real quick. He played one hell of a game against Louisiana Monroe. He did. He was like pretty much embarrassed against Florida State. You saw what the offensive guard was doing to him, right? I thought he was in the backfield several times. He played at a very high level. He had high energy throughout his opportunities. He looked very, very good. Kelby Collins, I haven't really seen too much of Kelby Collins, to be honest, but he does have 21 snaps for 2 tackles. Has anyone seen Kelby out there? Number 17, what have you thought? Edric Hill, right, a younger guy, 42 snaps and 2 tackles on the season. Other guys that have seen opportunities, Isaiah Faga, 42 snaps and 1 tackle. Steve Mbumwa, I thought he looked good. This was his first time to get on the field against Louisiana Monroe. Did you guys see him play? Very, very talented player right here. 2 tackles. I saw him in the backfield. He didn't make the traveling squad in the first game of the season, but these are the guys who are going to play more because Beeman's out, right, and Tim Keenan was out as well. We also have London Simmons. This is a true freshman who is also getting playing time. In fact, he was listed as a starter against Louisiana Monroe. So you look to a freshman being a starter, that tells you how they feel about London Simmons. We'll look at the bandit position, and you see LT Overton, 65 snaps, 3 tackles, and 4 hurries. I saw him chasing a quarterback last night. Have you been impressed with LT Overton's play? Sometimes these guys don't, make the news headlines because they're in the trenches, but LT Overton, clearly one of the staple pieces of our defense, right? Keon Keeley, we finally saw him, right? 17 snaps. Let me ask you, what did you think of 31 when he got on the field? That's Keon Keeley. Thumbs up? Were you impressed? Do you need to see more of him? I actually liked him. I was like, okay. Clearly the coaches, are playing the guys that they feel are the best suited to get on the field. That's their job. But I thought that Keon Keeley, when he got on, I was like, okay, yeah, that's what we want. I felt that he was playing at a high level. Jordan Renaud plays over him. I think he's very good too. I saw him all over the field. He's super fast. He's athletic, very athletic bandit position player. And then we haven't seen Cavante Henry yet. I don't think he has any snaps. So that's your bandit position right here. Let's talk about the wolf position. You have Quay Rusaw, 61 snaps, 2 tackles. How many sacks do we have? I have to go and look. Do we have do we have a couple quarterback? Okay, you guys can't get past the poll. Okay, I'll end the poll. All right, yeah. You should see how many mistakes I make. It's because I do every single thing on the channel. I'm probably the worst speller that there is, right? So I make constant mistakes. So if you see a mistake out there, just let me know. I'll fix it on the next show or whatever. So I don't have an editor. I don't have a producer. I have spaghetti downstairs. I'm a single dad. I swear to God, I'm trying my hardest at every single thing that I do, and I make mistakes constantly. So, spelled cautiously wrong. I'll get it right. It's a tough word for me. I probably couldn't even spell it if you asked me, honestly. So, I appreciate you guys giving me some grace on that. We don't have any sacks, right? And so that's what I thought. I was kind of going through. I ain't have any sacks. So Quay Rusaw, is it him? Is it the scheme? I don't know. Clearly, there's a couple pressures, but there's not quarterback sacks. Yanze Pierre, I thought he's been playing at a really high level. He got to the quarterback last night. There was a pressure that he caused, and that turned into an interception. Noah Carter has seen 11 snaps, and Justin Hill has seen 15 snaps as well, right? This super talented position. I guess Ja Latham, there's something going on with him. I still don't understand why he came back, because this room needs to grow. It needs to get onto the field, right? And Yanze Pierre needs to play a lot. Noah Carter needs to play a lot. Justin Hill needs to play a lot. And these guys are ready to play right now. You know what I'm saying? The inside linebackers, I have a big question for you right here, okay? This is going to be a tough question. You don't have to answer it right now, but maybe think about it. Maybe you've had some time to think about what I'm about to ask you, okay? Do you feel that this man right here, QE Reese, should maybe be starting at backer over Deontay Lawson? Deontay Lawson has played a lot. I keep asking right? What are you seeing from Deontay Lawson? You defensive wizards out there, do you think that Deontay Lawson is a liability? I get it. Look, Louisiana Monroe, they weren't going to do anything. But when you start playing teams, I mean, look, your defensive tackle, Tim Keenan, he's going to come back. He's going to be, hopefully 100%. The method to beating Alabama football is running up the middle, right? Is he a liability? Right? When you start playing teams with a heartbeat again, do you need somebody else at the inside linebacker position? I don't know. AAA says, nah, keep him in. Lawson played much better. Something that I'm watching for sure. I don't know. I feel that first game he got exposed, but I guess we'll have to see. I'm pulling for him, man, because that guy, when he's 100%, Deontay Lawson, he's one of the best linebackers in college football, right? Jeremiah Taylor saying QB Reese kind of looks kind of slow. He was in what did he return? He got a fumble recovery and caused a fumble last night, right? And then Justin Jefferson, 72 snaps, 9 tackles, an interception last night, and then 36 snaps for Nakai Hill-Green. All right. I don't know if any of these freshman linebackers have played. I looked on the stats. I haven't seen them. I don't know if they have any detail just yet. Here's the corners for Alabama. I guess I could add the coverage grades of these guys, but so far what I have on here is the snap count. So I have 90 snaps for Damani Jackson and 8 tackles. Xavier Brown, 90 for 3 tackles. Cam Calhoun plays a couple different positions. 18 snaps. DeJohn Lee, 41 snaps as a freshman. 28 for Red Morgan. And then Chuck McDonald, I don't know if he's got on the field yet. How would you assess the corners right now at Alabama? Is it hard because they played 2 different types of opponents? Have you been impressed with how they fare in coverage? Damani Jackson and Xavier Brown getting most of the snaps at the corner position with DeJohn Lee on third in terms of, the reps. How do you guys feel about the corners? Have you been impressed? It's hard because the 2 different teams are completely different, right? I think they'll be fine. I really do. I still feel that this is one of the strengths of the defense. You're going to go against, and look, these guys better come with it because you look at the quarterbacks that you still have to face on the back end of the season. Oh, my goodness, right? I mean, think about all the quarterbacks that are coming in town. I don't know how good Gunnar Stockton is. Wisconsin's quarterback is chronically hurt. Every quarterback, he should be drafted to the Niners, right? I think he's hurt again. A different quarterback, he's hurt. Then you play Gunnar Stockton. But then after that, you're going to face some great quarterbacks down the rest of the stretch, right? Lenore Sellers, Diego Pavia. I get it. He's probably not the best quarterback, but the guy beat Alabama last year. You play Garrett Nussmeier. You play John Mateer. You play Jackson Arnold, who beat Alabama last year. So these guys got to be ready. And I think that I still have confidence in the quarterbacks, to be honest. The Husky position right here, you got Deshaun Jones, 37 snaps. And what do you guys think about Jay Kirkpatrick? I've really liked Drake Kirkpatrick. I know he's coming, he only has 12 snaps, but I feel that he plays with the high velocity, right? He's a hard hitter. Called for targeting last night. Did you think that was targeting? I think we were talking about that last night. Some people said that was targeting. And then Cam Calhoun, I also listed him over here at the Husky position. Moving on to the safeties, you got Keon Sabb with 80 snaps, 4 tackles. Bray Hubbard with 85 and 8 tackles. I know he was people got on him for the lack of effort against Florida State. Zay Mincy, 35 and 2 tackles. Cam Howard, 11 snaps. I don't think that Ivan Taylor has played just yet. We'll also look at the special teams, right? Sometimes you don't talk about a third component of the game, which is super important, but you got Connor Talty, who was 8 of 8. I actually kind of do you have faith in Connor Talty? I do. I'm starting to like this kicker. 8 of 8 on PATs, 2 of 3, longest of 46. He missed the first one. What did he missed from against Florida State? Like 53 yards out or something like that? Blake Dowd, he didn't punt last night, which is a good thing. 3 punts, 144 yards against Florida State. Those are low-key good numbers. And then David Byrd is the long snapper. So, you guys think it was targeting? It kind of looked like targeting to me. I had to go back and watch it again. But Connor Talty, I'm not mad about it. I think he's pretty good kicker, to be honest. So yeah, that's the grading report and kind of where we stand for the first two games of the season. I'll open it up for some dialogue. That's kind of where we're at in terms of the team by week to week stats. Let me know what you think inside the comment box. I'll open it up for dialogue now. What do you guys think? I'll go back to this slide right here. How are you feeling about this team right now? Right? Do you have high confidence? Do you think they make a rebound? I mean, ChatGPT told us that this team is still going to win, 10 games or something like that? It was so strange because they played almost flawless, right? They have to continue to carry that over, of course, into week 3. Are there any, what would you say are weak points of this team? I still feel that the run defense, and if I'm going to beat Alabama football, I'm going to still challenge them by running the football at them. Now, you're going to have teams that are able to do that or that are going to try to do that. I don't know if Georgia's going to try to beat Alabama over the top. I think that Vanderbilt, their coach is getting a lot of notoriety. I think he's going to play time of possession. I think he's going to try to come into Alabama and be the first coach to beat Kalen DeBoer at Bryant-Denny, right? And I agree with you too, Randy, inside the comment box, the defense. Now, while they pitched a shutout last year, I was thinking about this, and I'm not trying to cause people to be scared or anything like that. But what's up, OC? I see you inside the comment box. But we went through this last year. We were happy, and then we were sad. We were up, and then we were down. And think about it, right? I mean, there was times last year where we were like, yeah, Kane Womack, we can't wait to hear from him tomorrow, right? Yeah, they pitched a shutout against Louisiana Monroe. So when you come back and you're like, all right, well, you got Wisconsin, teams from the Big Ten, but other teams that you're going to play, they're going to run the football. Can you stop Can you stop the run, and can you play well on the road? That's it, right? I mean, 2-5 on the road since they've been here, and every time a team rushes for more than 50 attempts, that's kind of the secret sauce. So can you stop that? That's why I say at the bottom right here is cautiously optimistic. Scott Turner inside the comment box says Georgia looked weak. Yeah. People, you should see their message board. They're calling for Bobo. They're upset about the play calling, right? Angel inside the comment box can't be inconsistent anymore. Ethan, what's up, man? A lot of teams struggled with the same caliber that we played against. LSU defeated Clemson, right? And then Clemson, they were toe-to-toe with who did they play? Troy, right? Jeremiah Taylor says he's more afraid of Vandy than Georgia. The only thing about that is the game is in Athens, right? Randy points out, he's like, even Saban couldn't stop a running quarterback. Kurt, what's up, man? Thanks again for the super chat earlier. I love that. I love this dog inside the avatar, by the way. They should just crowd the line of scrimmage and allow the defensive backs to play man. I wouldn't be mad at that. I think they're athletic enough and talented enough to play man if they're put in that position. Let's see. Bob says that Clemson almost lost to Troy. Yep, 100%. Let's see. Why You Mad says Womack need to rush 4 every time. And Scott Turner says Vandy is a team to watch for, as bad as I hate to say that. Yeah. Vanderbilt, I think you just have bad blood from that last year, right? Carlos says, I've seen Kane running a lot of 3-4 now when teams go into 12 personnel. This is interesting. And AAA says, I like Alabama's offense if they continue to play calm and relaxed. Lance Hunter says, Georgia at Tennessee this week. Yeah, that's an interesting matchup as well. Is there anything that stands out from the top 25? Any teams that are overrated? Any teams that you expect to have a crash out? Let's stay in the left column right here. Ohio State. Look, I think they are, head and shoulders the number one team. I watched them again against Grambling. This team's complete. They got weapons all over the field, defense. I think they pitched a shutout as well, right? Penn State, you know how I feel about Penn State. LSU, I think we got JTL up in the comment box. A good team for sure. Good quality win in the opener and good quarterback and a lot of components on defense as well. Oregon, they beat up on Oklahoma State. Would they score like 63 on them or something like that? Miami, 2-0. This Miami and South Florida game is gonna be lit, right? I don't know what time they play. Hopefully, I'm able to watch that game. Georgia and Tennessee. That's going to be an interesting SEC opener for those teams. Georgia hasn't played anybody at all, right? Texas 1-1. I still think that this is the top team in the SEC, unless at least in my SEC rankings, I probably go Texas, LSU, then Georgia, right? Notre Dame, I don't buy it, but they play Texas A&M, which would be an interesting game. I don't buy Illinois. You know how I feel about some of these teams, in the I think they're basically just Indiana this year, right? Oh, the dog's name is Bama. That's what's up. I appreciate it. Yeah. Dog life is real life, right? I got I got the 2 French bulldogs, so Peach and Pearl for me. Florida State, this team, that's the other thing. They beat the pants off, Alabama, and then they beat East Texas A&M. They kind of a low-key buzzsaw. Maybe they're like a top 5 team. Tommy Castellanos is absolutely balling out. South Carolina, I feel like this is an interesting team. I don't know if they're as good as I thought they'd be. Molly doesn't agree with the Texas assessment. I don't know. I think the Texas is – I think they're good, right? I think going on the road against Ohio State, going against that defense, I don't really count that as like a terrible loss. The win against San Jose State, I watched that. It wasn't – I mean, it was a cupcake game. The only thing about Arch Manning's ball, like it has wobble on it. It's weird. It's the weirdest thing. It's accurate, but it has like a wobble on it. Has anybody noticed that? I don't know if I'm kind of like selling stock on South Carolina. Clemson 1-1. That was a weird game. They were trailing. I don't know all the logistics of that game. This team is really good. You might swap Oklahoma and South Carolina. This team's good. I think we can all agree on that. That's going to be one hell. You got to play John Mateer, right? Let's see what Samuel says. What's up, Samuel? Samuel, is that your real photo or is that AI? Dude, that's legit, dog. Samuel says Lawson is not running right, but look good blitzing. Okay. Thanks for the intel from the inside linebacker position. Appreciate it. Let's see. Iowa State, meh. Tennessee, I haven't had the opportunity to really watch them yet. I'm sure they're pretty good. Texas A&M, jury's still out. Ole Miss, they came back, were able to beat Kentucky. This team's really good. I like this. They're scrappy. This is the scrappiest team right here on the top 22. Bama, Utah. You know what? I would like to see Alabama play South Florida. That game would be more scary than playing Wisconsin this coming Saturday. Can you imagine if South Florida was coming into Tuscaloosa this year? I'm serious. They have everything that we're scared of. They have the quarterback can't really throw. If he could throw, this team, Byron Brown, if he could throw, and if he was a more accurate quarterback, they'd probably be a top, like legit top 15 team. He can't throw the ball. He can't. He's very mid, but the guy's like 6'4", 230. We hate, this would be, that would be a terrible opponent right now, but really good to play these guys, right? You got Bama, Utah, Texas Tech, and Indiana. All right, so. Did Austin Simmons get hurt in that game? I didn't see that. I missed that. Yeah, so that South Florida and Miami game, I'm definitely going to be watching that one. But, yeah, I just wanted to jump on tonight and, talk a little bit about, the game and highlight some of the players after 2 games. It's been fun. It's kind of been – it's really weird. Like, usually you start out with, like, a cupcake, right? And then you play somebody with, like, a heartbeat. But this particular time, you play somebody who is, like, looks like a top 10 team, and then you play your cupcake. So you kind of enter this coming week, like, cautiously optimistic, right? And you're like, okay, we're favored to beat Wisconsin. They're coming in. We haven't lost at home. The game's at 11. By the way, have you seen the temperature for Saturday? I can't wait to get North Alabama Storm Chase. It's supposed for 11 that 11 o'clock game in the morning against Wisconsin. It's supposed to be hot as hell. It's gonna be like 100 degrees, right? And then what will be interesting, right? Let's say Alabama wins that game, like I don't know, 14. We'll talk about predictions and stuff later. Then you have 2 weeks to really just preview Georgia, and I would imagine if Georgia beats Tennessee, right, they're going to be, let's call them top five, right? I think they have an open week as well. So Alabama goes over to Athens. Let's say they take care of it. We can talk about the games. The players are just one game, but we can talk, about the future. You take care of Wisconsin, package them up, win by, I don't know, 2 tutties or whatever. And then you have 2 weeks. You put together a really good game plan. You go to Georgia. You beat Georgia. Damn, Alabama's back in the top 10, right? And now you have a lot of momentum. You just got to be able to sustain it. And I think that particular game against Georgia would do so much for the team momentum-wise because you're beating a top 5 team. Plus, you're able to win on the road, right? So, but it all starts with Wisconsin. You got to be able to take care of these guys. If they're coming in, I'm trying to run the football. I'm challenging them. But also on the front of the show, I wanted to highlight 15 here because what he did last night was memorable. I'd never seen a quarterback ball out like that. That was fun. Let's see. Angel says, Kyle, you watching NFL today? I believe the Jets lost. Yeah, I watched the 49ers. It was the most frustrating game to watch. I don't even know how they won that game. They were losing the entire time. The Seahawks, or the defense, the 49ers were in the red zone the entire game. And by the way, Kittle's out. Juwan Jennings, he's hurt. Every single 49er football player always gets hurt. It's the worst thing. Man. But Christian McCaffrey, he played well today, and Brock Purdy ended up throwing a touchdown in the back end, so 49ers win. So we'll see what happens. But tomorrow, I'll be back live at 10 a.m. I appreciate you guys joining my show. We'll do it all again this coming week going into week 3 of the college football season. I appreciate you kicking it with me. I hope you have had an enjoyable Sunday. And, sleep good, sleep well, say your prayers, be where your feet are at, enjoy your beautiful life. And we'll catch up with you tomorrow at 10 a.m. Central Time right here on Bama Football on YouTube. Thanks for watching. Oh, make sure that you turn on all the notifications because I've been pumping out a lot of videos as content is coming. And then definitely check out our Facebook page. Basically, the Facebook channel is like my website, if you want to call it one. So I'll put it inside the comment box. If you're not a member of the Facebook channel, check it out. That's where I post, daily content. I appreciate you guys. Have a beautiful evening. Enjoy your life. Enjoy your night. And I'll catch you soon right here.